so crap compared to you, mummy. Oh, hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, what we've done is we've done it by sections. So we did eyes, we did brows, we did complexion, and we did lips. So what we did is I did it first so I could show my mum what to do, and then she did it on the other half of her face. So my mum literally did this whole half of her face, which I think is amazing. You did such a good job.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So in the video, it's so in-depth, like there's so much information. So if you are a beautiful, mature lady, or if you want to do your mum's makeup or your auntie's makeup, without further ado, I think we'll get straight into the video. And also I have linked every single product we used in this video in the description box down below. I just thought I'd put them down there in case you missed what we said and you want to buy one of the products yourself.
And I think with a bit of practice, it'll be really easy to do, and it wouldn't take all that long.
We'll be quiet now and get straight into the video. So to start off with, I'm going to be using the Fenty Beauty Foundation in the colour 210. It's the Pro Filtr foundation. So I'm just using this as a base for your eyeshadow.
Do I have to do a base on my eyeshadow?
Yes.
Why?
Because otherwise, if you don't, the eyeshadow won't have too much to stick to. So it'll come out quite patchy.
That would be why my eyeshadow doesn't last terribly well.
Probably, yeah. Then what I do is I'm going to set it in place with powder. See, I'm going to go in with this. This is the Fenty Beauty Loose Powder. It's the banana powder from the Pro Filtr range. And I'm just taking a damp blender, taking a small amount of powder on the damp blender. So I'm just setting that base in place. And the reason I'm doing that is because eyelids can tend to be quite oily, so that'll break down your eyeshadow a lot faster as well. Plus, you want to make it easy to blend out your eyeshadows. And if you leave the foundation or your eyelid kind of wet, the eyeshadow is going to stick to it and it's going to make it really hard to blend out. Mummy, so I'm going to get you to do what I just did. Here's the foundation. Small amount. Probably a little bit more than that. Probably a little bit more than that even.
God!
Yeah, that'll probably do.
Oh, really?
What?
Like this?
Yeah, wait, what's wrong with that?
Oh.
What?
Where to?
Up to your eyebrow like I did.
Up to my eyebrow.
Yeah, and into the inner corner of the eye as well. You want to coat that whole eyelid area.
Do I?
Yes.
Oh, yuck.
Why? Why is that yuck?
Oh, I don't know.
Leo, stop snoring. And then what I do is go in with this blender and smooth everything out. No, don't swipe, just dab.
Dab?
More like gentle pressing motions, so like this.
Oh.
And firmly.
That's not a dab, that's a firm dab.
So it is a dab.
Yes, but it's a firm dab.
So you want to smooth everything out and make sure it's a really even base, you know what I mean?
I do.
Now I set it in place, remember?
With the powder,
Yeah.
which I never use.
So now make sure you don't get too much because you only need a small amount.
And you dabbed it on your hand again.
I did. Do you remember why I did that?
To get the excess off.
Yeah, so you see how much excess is on your hand?
Ooh.
So you wouldn't want all that on your face. Now you want to coat the whole eyelid.
Dab.
Yeah.
Severe dab.
Severely dab, coat everywhere, because you don't want to have some parts that are still wet foundation and some parts that are dry, otherwise the eyeshadow won't be even.
I'm happy with that.
Have you got the inner corner of your eye?
Yes.
Now we're moving on to eyeshadow. So the eyeshadow palette I'm going to use is the Tartist Pro palette. So you've got all these here are mattes, and matte eyeshadows are amazing for mature eyelids and hooded eyelids. And then down here you've got the shimmers, so you can use them kind of strategically, but I'm going to make use of the mattes mostly. Okay, so for your eyeshadow, I'm going to go in with this shade up here. As you can see, it's kind of just a matte ivory shade. It's just off-white and it's called Classic. You paying attention, Mommy?
Oh. Sorry, no, I wasn't. I was having
You're like a naughty kid in school who's not paying attention. So the brush I'm using is the Large Shader A60 brush from Sigma. As you can see, it's just flat. So with this, I can really pack eyeshadow on, but you wouldn't use this for blending.
No. Why wouldn't you use it for blending?
Because a blending brush looks more like this. So a blending brush is more like dome shaped and it's fat and fluffy, so it can blend things out, whereas this you wouldn't really get a good blend because the edges are too harsh. So with this one, I'm going to apply the lighter shade onto the mobile lid. Now the mobile lid, do you remember because I told you last time?
The mobile lid is the one that moves.
Correct! So that's kind of the bulbous part that covers your actual eyeball underneath the crease of your eye. So I'm going to apply the lighter shade there. Now if you have hooded eyes, which my mum does and so do I, you want to apply this underneath the hood of the eye. So I'm just lifting up the crease of the eye so I can really apply this onto the mobile lid. Then what we're going to do is go in with a crease slash transition shade. What eyeshadow I would usually use for that, I mean you can use any colour you want, but I'd go with nothing too dark. So you want to go in with like a medium shade. So I'm going to go in with this shade here. Guys, I'm going to believe this, but I'm currently in Australia and I actually forgot to pack an E25. And if you watch my channel, you'll know a Sigma E25 is my favorite blending brush, but I don't have one.
You can tell that I use it.
So yeah, I'm going to have to use my mum's, which is not clean, but I have put it on the back of my hand and nothing's coming off. So it's going to be okay. If you look straight at the camera, mummy, see your mobile lid where we put the white shade?
Yes.
So we want to go up here into the crease of the eye, now with this slightly darker shade. I'm just going to apply a small amount first, just so I can get the feel of where I'm going to be placing it. So open. See with my mum, she's got hooded eyes. So we want to put this shade on the hood of the eye because that's going to make that area kind of recede. So here we're really playing with shade and light to create more defined eye shape. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a blending brush. It's the E35 tapered blending from Sigma. And I'm going to go back in and I'm kind of holding the eyelid taut. I'm not stretching the lid because you don't want to do that. I'm just holding it slightly taut so that I can get a good blend. What we want to do is soften any harsh edges and make it look like that eyeshadow is a natural shadow in the eyelid. Okay, so you're going to repeat what I just did.
I'm brushing it across, getting it into the corner of my eye.
See the way you're holding the brush is making it the eyeshadow fling everywhere. So you want to hold the brush kind of like flush to the eyelid that way.
Oh, you can tell me that.
And I remember I was not sweeping, I was patting. Okay, maybe not that vigorously. Yeah, that's probably better. Ah, you put it too high. What did I say about the hood of the eye?
Oh, okay, right.
Should we? Oh, good job.
Thank you. I have to hold that.
It does help, yeah. And then kind of shut your eyes so you can actually, yeah, that's a bit better. Focus more towards the outer corner of the eye. And then whatever's left on the brush, then bring that in. Perfect! That was way better than I expected you to do. Do you remember the next step?
Well, since there's another brush here, I'm guessing I've got to use this for something.
You remember we used that to blend and soften all the harsh edges?
So I don't think I put anything on. Do I put anything on it?
Nope, so you just use that brush clean. That's a peculiar blending technique you've got there. For blending, what you want to do is kind of shut your eye a little bit so you don't poke yourself in the eye and do kind of really gentle circular blending motions. So if you imagine kind of blending out the harsh edges around the edge of the eyeshadow.
See, my hand doesn't do that.
Okay, well in that case you can try the windscreen wiper motion, which is kind of backwards and forwards. Yeah, but gently. Everything's
that
gentle.
Doesn't feel. I'd rather do this.
I mean, that's not doing anything though.
But to me, it just feels lovely.
But you're not doing anything.
But it's blended, look!
Now what we're going to do is darken up the outer corner of the eye to elongate the look of the eyes and make them look really smoky and sexy. Is go in with this shade here. So as you can see, it's a much darker brown. This one's called Edgy and they're all still mattes. So the brush I'm going to use is the Sigma Small Tapered Blending E45 brush. I'm taking a small amount of that eyeshadow on the brush and I'm going to apply this directly to the outer corner of your eye. See this outer corner area here, guys? This is where we want to focus it. So I'm keeping the bulk of the colour as close to the outer lashes as possible. So you want to keep it nice and low. And I'm actually just going to use the same brush and I'm just gently blending around the edges to smoke that out. Now also with whatever's left on the brush, that's what you want to kind of blend up and into the crease / hood of the eye here. Okay, Mommy, can you repeat that?
I'm starting right down at the eyelashes and at the end here.
Yes.
Ooh.
See, it kind of helps to shut your eye if you can use your other eye to see instead.
Oh, okay.
So you're swiping, and the problem with swiping, especially when you've got a dark colour, is that when you swipe it, it also kind of flicks the brush so that it flicks eyeshadow all around here. You end up with fallout all around here. So what you want to do instead is kind of just pat the eyeshadow onto the eye. And hold the brush, instead of holding it this way, which can feel quite harsh on the eye, hold it more parallel to the eye like that. Yeah, see, that's better, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah, and then what you'll want to do is gently blend around the edge. So what I tend to do is, if you still have too much on your brush, just take a bit of toilet paper or a tissue or some paper towel and just wipe the excess off on there.
Do I?
Yeah, and then you're not applying too much to the eye. See how much excess is coming off on that? And now the brush is a little bit cleaner, so now you can go in and blend around the edges.
I thought I used the other brush for blending.
Well, this one is just probably a little bit easier because it's smaller, so it'll give you more control. Yeah, that's good. See, that's pretty much the same as what I did on your side.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
Pretty close. Not as good as, but pretty close.
So now what we're going to do is the faux liner. So this works really well on mature eyes and hooded eyes, and it's very easy to do once you get the hang of it. So for that, we're going to go in with the matte black shade called Punk. You can also use a really, really dark brown, kind of like that there if you're scared of black, but I actually think black looks amazing. I'm taking an extremely small brush, and this is actually called the Precise Lip Line LO6 brush from Sigma. All brushes I'm using are from Sigma because Sigma is cruelty-free, vegan, and they also have a 2-year warranty on all their brushes. Oh, they're a really good investment. So I'm using this really small brush. It is called a lip brush, but I've never used these brushes for lips. I only use them for eyes because they're amazing detailing brushes for eyes.
I think I need to get a set of these brushes.
I will get a set for you and gift it to you for being such a good model in all these videos. I've got a small amount of that black shadow on this brush, and what we're going to do is we're applying it as close to the roots of the lashes as you can. The whole idea of this is to make the lash line appear really full, really thick, and to define the eyes as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm just holding the lid up a little bit so you can access the lash line, and then I'm just applying it like this. So I'm kind of dabbing it and then wiggling it to get the product into the roots of the lashes. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And open. Yeah, so that really defines the eyes, and it's so much easier to do than like an actual liquid liner, which has to be really precise and really neat. This is more smoky.
So do I have to do this now?
Yes, you do. I recommend you shut your eye, and remember you want to keep it as low to the lashes as possible. And nope, hold up, because you're going to bring it up too high, and that's going to make the eye look smaller. So what you want to do is kind of like press onto the, yeah, and then wiggle. Yeah, and then release. Have a look. Then do it again. So you're going to need to go a little bit. Yeah, and wiggle. Good, that was a good placement. See how much better that was than the others? Good job. See how good that looks? That's your first go at trying it.
This is why I need a drink when I'm doing this.
Oh, I can get you one.
Very, very tense work.
Do you want me to get you a bourbon?
Oh, I'm going to need needing one.
Do you want a straight bourbon?
No, not straight.
Now it's time for your most hated part.
Oh no, I do need a drink. It's very stressful. Mm-hmm.
What you need to do for this is we're going to line the top waterline. Now the reason we do this is because again it makes the lash line look incredibly full, incredibly thick, and it defines the eyes.
Oh.
Mummy! Every time!
I did note Lara wasn't well behaved either.
She was better than you though.
Mm-hmm.
Look down at the ground, thank you.
This is revolting.
Okay, look down at the ground and away from the pencil. I suggest that you look this way, down at the
But
ground.
the pencil's that way.
No, but I'm going to do the inner corner of your eye, so you look down in this way. Just ignore the fact. Think about something.
You
Think about
you're poking me in the eye.
You shut your eye. I can't even get your eye.
Good.
Think about your bourbon. No, what are you doing?
You told me to shut my
No, I said your eye was shut.
Oh God. So get your tongue.
Please don't, because I'm leaning on your mouth. Okay, that was progress. Okay, now I just gotta fill in the gaps, so do that again. Please refrain. Look at my. Yeah, see? So it kind of closes up that gappy area and it makes the lashes look extremely full compared to this one, which has still got that awkward skin-coloured gap between the eyeball and the lash line. So you're going to try it. Would you like me to hold the mirror?
No, I'd like you to run away. Dab?
No, you're just kind of drawing a line onto the waterline. See, why your eye is too open. So you need to shut your eye a little bit more. Yeah. There we go, see? Closer to your eyeball. You need to go lower because you're completely...
It's not going to happen.
You're missing your waterline. Okay, is that as good as that's going to get?
I can't do it. I don't like it.
What's
the worst
that's going to happen?
I poke my eye out.
So what we're going to do now is the eyebrows.
Mm.
But before that, we're going to move on to foundation on the forehead. I'm going to go in with this. This is from ColourPop. It's the No Filter foundation. So I'm going in with this brush. It's a new one from Sigma. It's the P87 Edge Precision, and it's like a triangular shape.
Dab it on your hand. You always do that?
Yes. I always use my hand as a palette.
You're doing my side too. Thank you.
Oh shit.
Shouldn't have told you.
I'm going to go in with the brush and I'm just going to apply it to the face with the brush first. And the reason I do that is because it just gives you better control of how much you apply. And then I'm going in with a damp sponge and I'm just gently patting to blend everything out. So I'm not swiping because that'll just remove the foundation. I'm just gently patting.
And you went up here.
Whoa, not too much in the hairline.
And you use the brush that way.
Yeah.
And we dabbed up to the hairline.
Yep.
Is that all right?
Yeah, that's perfect. See how smooth it looks as well?
Yep.
I'm going to go in with this colour. It's the same powder but just a different colour. This one is the colour Cashew, so it's like quite a deep tan shade, but it's also translucent. So this one is going to give you a bit of colour on the skin, but it's not going to be full coverage, if that makes sense.
And what's the brand again?
FENTY. And I'm going in with a damp blender. This is the same one we use to smooth out the foundation. And the reason we use a damp blender is because the dampness of this blender, powder will stick to it. So instead of all the powder sticking to the dampness of your foundation and having too much, where it looks cakey and thick, half of it will stick to this. So any excess powder on the face will actually stick to the damp blender instead of the damp foundation. So I'm taking a small amount, always a small amount, and then I'm tapping off the excess on my hand because there's so much excess that actually comes off and you don't want that on your face. But you can use this excess later. So you only want to apply really small amounts of powder to the face at one time. And I'm just gently kind of patting and rolling that on. Here you go, your turn. Pat and roll. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Okay, so now what we're going to do is brows now. So the brow pencil I'm going to use is a brand new one from Sigma. This only got released this week and it's called the Fill and Blend Brow Pencil. I'm going in with the colour Light on my mum. I'm going to try and keep this like really simple because I know you don't like to fuss with your eyebrows, do you?
I don't like to fuss.
In general. So what we're going to do, follow your actual brow hairs. My mum's got really sparse eyebrows. What the brows that are there, we're going to follow the shape of them. So first of all, we're just going to really gently, with tiny little hair-like flicks, fill in the shape of the eyebrow first. So that's kind of the shape of the eyebrow, it kind of curves like that. And then what I like to do is go like kind of a millimeter under the natural hairline and a millimeter on top of the natural hairline. So that way you can thicken up the brow, but it's still going to look really natural. And I just do tiny little kind of scribbles. It's extremely annoying. Leo, I can't.
Don't wake him.
I can't concentrate. So we've got the general outline, like kind of the shape of the brow there now. And I mean, you could leave it like that just for day to day if you want to keep it really quick and easy.
Oh, that's good.
So you're going to try and repeat the same thing on the other side. So do you remember what I did?
We're a millimetre above and below.
Yeah. And then it's kind of like just filling in between the gaps then, because you know what shape you're going for, so you can just go a little bit above and a little bit below.
And now I do the...
Now you do the tiny hair-like strokes, and now you can go a little bit above and a little bit below, and then you're actually filling in the brow.
How's that?
That's extremely good. That's really good. Good job. Now what I like to do, and it's kind of one of those unnecessary steps that you only do if you have time, but it does make such a difference and it looks really good, is going with a lighter concealer. So I'm going in with the Fenty Beauty Concealer in the shade 145. So again, I put a bit on the back of my hand like that.
And this will cover up the little bit of mistake.
Yeah. So here you can use like a lip brush, you can use a concealer brush. I like to use a really small synthetic brush, the small angle E65 brush from Sigma. And then what you want to do is kind of underline the eyebrow. And I'm just kind of neatening up the brow. So once you've got the product on then I just use the same brush to kind of gently wiggle it around and blend it down. Can you see how that kind of neatens underneath the brow and also gives a brightening, highlighted brow lift effect?
Oh yes.
So that brow should kind of look a little bit higher now than that one because it's got the lighter shade underneath it, which kind of pulls it up and gives it like a lifted effect.
It does. And you started at the outside.
Yeah.
And you said about a millimetre or two.
So I started directly underneath the eyebrow first.
Okay, so now I've got a white line.
Yeah, so apply the concealer all the way underneath the brow first, and then when there's hardly anything left on your brush, that's when you use the brush to kind of blend and drag it downwards a little bit. Yep, blend it downwards and sideways. Yep, perfect. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing as I did with the forehead. So I use the brush first.
Which brush is that?
This is the P87, the little triangular one.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
Yes.
honestly, you can use any concealer brush you like for this. So all I'm doing here is just getting the foundation on so I can see how much I'm actually going to need, because you don't want to apply too much foundation or overload the skin. When it comes to pores and enlarged pores, I have a little trick I like to do, and this is where the brush comes in. So if you just directly kind of like swipe, it doesn't fill in the pores at all, so all you end up with is like kind of gaping holes where the pores are. So this is why I like to go in with a little blendy kind of concealer brush like this. I just do tiny gentle circular motions like this, and it kind of gets the foundation into those pores and conceals them. So then instead of having holes in the face, everything looks really seamless. Same with like fine lines on the face. If you just kind of swipe over them, you're not actually getting any product into the fine line, so it kind of looks like a
valley.
A valley, yeah. So you want to fill in any fine lines or pores, and that kind of minimizes them. And then once I've got the amount on, then I go back in with the damp blender and I do the whole pressing thing just to smooth it out, blend it out, get rid of any brush strokes and make sure everything's super even. Then to set it in place, remember what we do? We just get the damp blender, the powder, take a little bit onto the blender at a time. Hold up! What we're going to do is I'm going to get you to do your side of the foundation first. Don't apply too much up under the eye. I would usually start kind of around this area. That's where most people need the most coverage.
And you paint?
Yeah, so just gentle long swipes. Have you ever painted a wall? Because I hope not.
No. I actually got the sacrum painting.
I'm not surprised.
I'm thinking Braveheart here.
Okay, so see you've got some of those enlarged pores on the chin there. So what do you do with enlarged pores? Yeah. Not too hard, just gentle circular little motions. Yep, perfect.
Fill them in.
Good job. So you didn't forget that area. Because if you would have left that blueness and shadowiness in there would have made you look tired. So it's good to cover that.
Okay, so now I go in with a sponge.
Yes. Good job. Yeah, really good job. So now, what you want to do is do all your cream and liquids on the base before you go in with powder, because you can't put any creams or liquids on top of powder because it won't blend. This is what I would only really do at night time if you're going out for a really glam look, but that's to use a concealer in a lighter shade with a slightly pinky undertone to kind of brighten the under eye. I will probably apply a little bit like that.
Goodness, that looks like a lot.
And then I go back in with the damp blender and I pat and blend this. Smaller blender so I can reach that inner corner of the eye and brighten the inner corner of the eye like that.
Oh.
Won't look as crazy when it's set in place with powder.
No. Okay. And you went across?
No, so I kind of went down at an angle, so like zoom, and then starting getting smaller. Yeah. And then they get smaller as you go across. Yeah. And then put one more in here. Down. I'll give you the smaller blender, that's probably easier.
And I just tap?
Yep.
Okay, is that done?
Yeah, that's good. So then what I would do, well, I'm actually going to use a liquid highlighter on you. Mummy, you've got foundation on, be careful. So the highlight we're going in with is a liquid. This one is an amazing highlight for mature skin because it's a liquid and it's not glittery, it's just very kind of like illuminating. And this is the Perricone MD No Highlighter highlighter. It is pricey, but I think it's worth it because you only use a tiny bit at a time.
Yeah, it's good.
So it comes in a little thingo like that. So I'm just going to go straight in and do a few dabs on the high point of the cheekbone. Then I'm going to go back in with a sponge and just...
It says on the bottle you can use your finger.
You can always use your finger in anything with makeup, but it just makes it harder and less neat to turn that way. So it kind of just catches the light and just gives you a really subtle illuminated effect.
Mila, s'il vous plaît.
Now remember the high points of the cheekbone. Yep. Good job. Yeah, that's it blended out. So it doesn't take much to blend it out. So then...
It's really good stuff, I do like it.
Yeah, so do you actually use it?
Yes, I do.
So then we're going to go back in with that powder in the colour Cashew. Again, taking a small amount on a damp blender. Take the excess off on the back of your hand because you don't want that on your face. So that's when you go into cakey territory. And then I'm just going to start by setting everything wet in place. And remember, we're only working with a very small amount of powder. You also want to make sure that underneath the eye there is set in place. That's very important. Okay, so now we're going to move on to bronzer. We're going to use this. So this is the Sigma Sculpt palette. It's a highlight and contour palette, but there is quite a warm shade in here, this one here. So I'm going to use this for bronzing. It's called Throw Shade.
Throw?
Yeah. It's like a colloquial term for like gossiping about someone. So I'm going in with this brush here. This is a Sigma F15 Duo Fiber brush. This video is not sponsored by Sigma, by the way, or Fenty, or any other brand for that matter. So I'm taking a very small amount on the brush. I'm going to tap off all the excess, and then I kind of just gently pat and dab it on, which you can do with this brush. Now we're not contouring, remember, we're just kind of imagining the sun was beaming down. Wherever it would hit naturally is where we're going to apply the bronzer, because we want to add warmth to the face. A little bit up here on the forehead because that would get tanned. A wee bit on the side of the nose because that would also catch the light. Yeah, and just press really gently. So you want to keep the colour on the high points where the sun would hit naturally.
And you went up here?
Yeah, but not there. That's the middle of the forehead, so you don't want to, you want to do it kind of on the high points. And I also did put a tiny bit just on kind of like the sides of the nose as well.
That's really nice.
Yeah, that'll do on the nose, you don't want too much. And then we go in with blush. So I'm actually just going to use the same.
Oh, bronzer and blush.
Yeah, because I do different things. So obviously blush is pink and it makes you look like you're blushing, like you've got blood under the skin, which gives you a healthy kind of glow to the skin, whereas bronzer gives you a sun-kissed look, which is done by the sun. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So for my mum, I'm just going to go in with, whoa, if you guys can see this shade up here. I'm going to mix these two kind of together. So this one's more of a coral shade and this one's a really baby pink, but I kind of want a colour between them. So I'm just going to take a tiny bit of that, and then with this you want to apply it to the apples of the cheeks, like the chunky part of the cheeks here, because that's where you would blush naturally. So smile, and stop smiling. Yep, so with the part that pops out, that's what you want to put the blush on. And then when you stop smiling, then you want to kind of just fill in any gaps that pop up when you're not smiling as well. Perfect. What we'll do now is we'll quickly do the under eye. This is quite easy and quite quick, but you do want to do it so you can balance the top eyelid with the bottom eyelid. So the brush I'm going to go in with the bottom eyelid is this one here. As you can see, it's kind of short and stumpy. This is the short shader E20 brush from Sigma. I'm just going to take the colour that we used second of all, which was kind of the light taupe matte shade. What you want to do is apply this directly underneath the lower lash line, so as close to the eye as you can. You don't want to bring it down too low. And then once I've applied it, I'm just going in with the same brush and gently blending around the edge of it to soften it. So it doesn't apply too much under the eye at all. All it does is kind of balance the top eye with the bottom eyelid.
Oh, that looks good.
Yeah. Yeah, that looks great. And then just bring it into the inner corner as well. Remember, keep it as close to the lashes as you can. Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, see? It's actually quite easy and it looks good. Okay, so for mascara, you can use any mascara you like. I find ones with like smaller brushes are easier, but of course I don't have any because I've run out and I need to get a new one.
Got my Charlotte Tilbury one.
Yes. So with mascara, it doesn't really matter which one you use, but one with quite a small brush head is easier to control. So just look down at the ground. You're not going to let me do this, are you?
I'll try.
Okay, well how about you do the mascara, but I'll correct you where you're wrong. With the mascara, what you want to do is make sure you reach the roots of the lashes and bring it all the way to the tips of the lashes. So you don't want to apply it just to the tips of the lashes. So you're kind of applying it just to the tips. You want to be able to feel the brush is kind of reaching the roots of the lashes. Good job, but that's actually a good job. Your lashes look amazing.
Oh, this mascara, this Charlotte Tilbury is really good.
Which one is it?
I don't know.
It's the Charlotte Tilbury Full Fat Lashes 5-star mascara. She's got amazing products and they're all cruelty free.
Good. It's really good and it doesn't smudge.
Oh, that is good. So now all we need to do is highlight and lips.
Highlight?
Yes.
What are we highlighting now?
So what we want to highlight is the arch of the brow bone, the inner corner of the eyes, and probably that's enough. I'm going to go back in with the E30 pencil brush, the tiny one we used at the start. And the highlight I'm using is this one here from Ofra.
Not Oprah.
It's called Rodeo Drive. I'm just applying a tiny bit to the inner corners of the eyes. Makes your eyes look bigger and more awake.
A tiny little bit and makes all that difference.
It does, yeah. And then I also put a little bit directly underneath the brow, right on the arch.
Rodeo Drive.
Yeah, I was saying Rodeo Drive, and my American followers were like, Stephanie, it's Rodeo Drive.
So a little bit in here.
Yeah. Good precision.
So that's it.
Yeah, so then for the lips, we're going to go in with lip liner. I think the colour I'm going to use is this one from Charlotte Tilbury. It's the Pillow Talk Lip Cheat lip liner, which I need to sharpen. Here's another makeup don't. Don't try and apply a lip liner if it's blunt like this, because you will not be able to get a neat result.
It'd be like writing with a blunt pencil.
Yeah.
Messy.
Outline the lip. Now I like to slightly overdraw as well, which you can do, and that just makes the lips look fuller. But it does help if your lips are taut, because then they won't move around too much. Good job. I'll say let's go with Penelope Pink. So yeah, this is called Penelope Pink. Again, it's from Charlotte Tilbury, so I'm just using Charlotte Tilbury on the lips. It's kind of a nudie shade, so it's not perfectly matching the lip liner, but then again, you don't have to. So I'm using a Sigma lip brush, an actual lip brush this time to use on the actual lips, and then I just kind of follow what we've done exactly with the lip liner. This lipstick also is quite creamy and hydrating, so it'll be really nice and comfortable on the lips.
It is.
Good job! And that's you done.
Me and the TV and the dogs that you can hear in the background. We're going to have a wonderful time.
I think you look amazing. And can you believe, like from the last video we filmed together, the side you did, now you've done this side all by yourself, and it's barely different at all to my side.
It looks
good.
good.
Are you pleased with your side?
Yeah, I want to do that. I want lots of photos.
So there we go, guys. That brings us to the end of the video, and my mum's face is complete, and I think you did such a bloody good job on your side.
I am a talent.
Well, I wouldn't
Well,
quite go
no,
that far. I think you did a good job anyway.
I do too, and like I said, it turned out to be easier than I thought it would be. It's a matter of having the brushes and those little sponges.
An artist is only as good as his tools.
Exactly.
Is that actually a saying, or did I make that up?
I think it's workman. Workman's only as good as his tools.
So yeah, that brings us to the end of the video. Remember, there will be all the products linked in the description box down below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, because it took us so long to film, so I really appreciate it. And if you want my mum back on my channel, say Nola, come back. Her name's Nola. We'll see you another time. Bye.
Bye.
Great. Neat. That's scary. I look like a nerd. I'm sorry.
This is my nerdy daughter.
1, 2, 3. You look a bit like a psycho when you smile like that. Just act normal.
I was.